Hi Seals, welcome back. We're about to start chapter 29. Amelia is just taking Tilly to where her grandma works before she gets picked up from the underlibrary. So this chapter is called Book Magic is the Only Sort We Have. The room was far bigger than any of the offices Tilly had seen so far and was hexagonal in shape. The floor was painted the same deep turquoise as the ceiling of the main hall, but the six walls and the ceiling were all lined with beautiful, intricate mats pricked with constellations of tiny lights in different colours. This is the map room, Amelia said, smiling. Tilly looked around in wonder. What's it for? This is what your grandma looked after. These lights are all bookshops across the whole world. The white lights are bookshops where there are known book wanderers. The blue lights are national underlibraries. The yellow lights are shops where we have no book wanderers to our knowledge. And the scarlet lights are those where there used to be book wanderers but aren't anymore. And the green lights are libraries. We have to keep track because, as you know, bookshops and libraries are key to book wandering, Amelia said. And we must treasure the bookshops and libraries we have left. How do you keep track of them all? Is that magic too? Tilly asked. I'm afraid not, Amelia said. It's old-fashioned emails and letters and phone calls and admin. Book magic is the only sort we have at our disposal. The current cartographer area is in charge of our relationships with all the other underlibraries around the world, and she keeps abreast of what's going on. How many book wanderers there are in different countries, patterns, agreed international rules, that sort of thing. Go on, take a closer look. Here's the UK, Amelia said, pointing at a map centred on one wall. Tilly traced her finger down the map until she found London, a comforting cluster of glowing lights. Many were white, but there were also a smattering of gold and scarlet. A small glowing blue beacon identified the underlibrary itself. Next to every light was a tiny scroll of writing naming each shop. On the outskirts of the galaxy of London bookshops was one marked Pages & Co. in looping handwriting. It shone bright white, and Tilly's heart glowed in tandem with the pinprick of light. Is this the bookshop you worked in with my mum on here? She asked. Amelia took her over to the opposite wall that was nearly all taken up with North America and found a label that said Bennett and Eyre among the cluster of New York lights. She touched the words gently. It was a pretty special place, owned by a brother and sister. One day, when we have more time, I'll tell you all about that shop, but for now we should probably go and check if your grandparents have arrived. This room is not a secret. You can visit it whenever you're here. You should get your grandma to bring you back and tell you more about it. Outside the map room, Amelia paused and handed Tilly her mum's copy of A Little Princess. It should go without saying, but please do not try to travel inside your mother's copy of A Little Princess again. It's clearly unstable without its final lines. I think we might need to look at this again at some point and work out why you were brought here, but as long as I can trust you not to wander inside this copy, you can keep hold of it for now. I know it belonged to your mum and it will mean a lot to you. She looked intently at Tilly, who nodded her agreement, but silently thought that she needed to have a much closer look and work out why this book was different before she let anyone else examine it. They walked down the dim corridor into the main hall, back past the sleepy librarian. Amelia led Tilly through an unamusing door to what looked like a fire exit. Is this another magical lift? Tilly asked, suddenly realizing quite how exhausted she was after all that happened that day. No, this one's just a fire exit, Amelia said. We do try to comply with up-to-date fire and safety regulations, even though no one knows we're here. Good faith, etc. We are librarians, after all. Tilly nodded as if she knew what Amelia meant, and then the door swung open and a burst of bracing October night air knocked into her. She was immediately wrapped in a hug from both her grandparents. Thank you, Amelia, Grandma said, holding up Amelia's arm tightly. Do we know what happened? We thought she might have headed there. We should have thought in advance. She tailed off, realizing she said more than she had intended. Don't worry, Elsie. I don't think it's anything to cause concern, Amelia said. She paused. I think that Tilly may have tumbled out here because of what I call a particularly strong connection to the underlibrary. So when something went wrong, she was pulled back here as a sort of protective measure. I wonder if Tilly's book wandering may have some unusual side effects. Why do you say that? Grandma asked. Just a hunch. Amelia said, looking Grandma directly in the eyes. Neither of them said any more. So what went wrong? Grandad asked. The last page of my book had been torn, Tilly said. I genuinely don't think we have any cause of concern, Amelia said firmly. Tilly knows not to travel into that book again, and this is a good lesson in the importance of following the book wandering rules. Maybe when Tilly's found her feet a bit more with book wandering and had a little time to digest everything she's learned today, we can revisit this, but no reason to worry for now. Much more important to get her home, but maybe watch some TV tonight instead of reading a book. She smiled as she shook Grandad's hand and gave Grandma a warm hug. Tilly climbed into the back of the waiting taxi that had brought Grandma and Grandad to the underlibrary, and she was asleep before they got back to Pages & Co. That was lucky, wasn't it? She got back safely. I wonder what's going to happen. Do you think she's going to travel back into the Little Princess to find out more? Have to find out. Okay, bye.